Om Shanti. Today in the Murli, Baba is talking about how you cannot have one kingdom through physical power, but through Yog Bal, or the power of yoga. Now we all heard that. If you have heard the Murli, you would have heard that. Or if you go through the Murli later, you will hear that. But what does Baba mean by yoga power? And why is it, what is physical power? And why is it that you can rule over the world with yoga power but not physical power? Is something we will explore today. Now, let me read out those lines for you first, and then we will understand them. So, Baba says, what is the basis of the establishment of the undivided kingdom? So, Baba has said that in Satyug, or in the Golden Age, there will be no divisions. So I was just wondering, in this lockdown, there is a partition at every end of the road. So, you can't cross a road, and so you will be obstructed there. And we have come to times, and we have created these times when there is partition in everything. What you're allowed, what you're not allowed, everything has there is a set mandate for everything. And Baba says, Satyug is a free world where there is no division, no geographical boundary, no political boundary, no economic boundary. There is no boundary. So Baba says this kind of an undivided kingdom Baba is establishing. And Baba says, what is the basis of the establishment of the undivided kingdom where there is no other religion? So the answer is the power of yoga. The undivided kingdom can never be established with physical power. In fact, Christians have so much power that if they were to come together, they could rule the whole world. However, that is not the law. To establish the one kingdom in the world is the task of the Father alone. Why does Baba say Christians have a lot of power? So let's understand power, physical power, and yoga power. Now, do you remember when you undertook the course, there was a chapter on powers? And in that chapter, you were introduced to the power to tolerate, and the power to pack up, and the power to discern and decide, and the power to adjust. And then you kept wondering whether they actually qualify as powers. Because before this spiritual study, you never associated this word power with tolerance or adjustment or, letting go or discernment or decision making. You did not use the word power for these things. And then not just this, there are other words also which you listen, which is the power of peace, the power of love, the power of knowledge, the power of purity. Now, we never thought about power in this way before Gyan. Now, if I want to use a terminology for making a distinction between these two things, then I would prefer to use two words. One is powerful Another is empowered. Yes, so one is powerful, another is empowered. So before Gyan, we were only aware of the word powerful. And what is powerful? Powerful generally means physical power. So whether it is the power of having a muscular body, or the power of having a lot of money, or the power of having a lot of political connection, or the power of having, belonging to some religious authority. So these powers are physical power. And before Gyan, we believed in being powerful. And what is powerful? That is, you have so much of physical power that you are able to scare others. Okay, so you are able to demand from others or command others with these physical power, mostly through the weapon of fear. So fear is the weapon, and you use fear, you use these money, this political power, religious authority, or physical power to make the other person scared and surrender to you. Right? Now, this is one side of the story. And then when we come to Baba, Baba says you don't have to use physical power. What you need to understand about is spiritual power and being empowered. And what is being empowered? Being empowered means you are not trying to control anybody through the weapon of fear. You are rather bringing yourself to a state where others are not able to influence you. Okay, others are not able to influence you. Now, what do I mean by others? Others means unfavorable situations. Yes. Behaviors which earlier used to unsettle you. Then others means maybe memories, past memories. Then others may be your sanskars of likes and dislikes. So all these things which were able to influence you earlier, you want to come to a position where you are free from the influences of these things. And then what you become is empowered. And when you are beyond influences, then what happens is you are able to maintain your state of love in all circumstances. And you know what is the opposite of fear? The opposite of fear is love. The opposite of fear is not fearlessness. The opposite of fear is love. So what you cannot do with fear, you can do with love. So the only thing is, if you are able to keep your energy of love intact in the face of behaviors and circumstances and the attacks of Maya in the form of bitter memories and attacks of I like this and I don't like this and I am feeling this and feeling that. So if you are able to go beyond your preferences and feelings and likes and dislikes, and if you are able to handle the onslaught of situations and behaviors and still maintain that stage of absolute love, then you win over everyone and everything in the world. And in order to come to that stage where you stay loveful always, you will need these powers to tolerate, to face, to let go, to discern, to decide. Yes, if you don't have these powers, you cannot stay in an equanimous state in the face of onslaught of situations and behaviors. So now this is what Baba means by being empowered vis-a-vis being powerful. Now, how do you come to this stage of empowerment? Baba says it is through yoga. Now, ever since you come to Baba, every day you hear this word yoga, but I don't know how many of us really understand what this means. And we keep struggling with yoga, and then, we are talking about doing yoga and being in yoga and this and that, and today yoga power. So yoga is used in so many ways and we don't know what it means. So now, what is yoga? Before we understand yog bal or yoga power, let us first again revise what is yog. Now, Baba has said that I will make it very simple today, and Baba has said that yog is Raj Yog. Okay, now the yoga that you practice in Brahma Kumaris is Raj Yog. And what is Raj Yog? Raj Yoga is the yoga that makes you a ruler of yourself and the world. So it makes you a Raja. Okay? And then there are various sub-parts to Raj Yoga. So there are various, yoga subsidiaries to Raj Yoga. And what are the sub-parts of Raj Yoga? So Raj Yoga is Gyan Yoga. Raj Yoga is Buddhi Yoga. Raj Yoga is Karam Yoga. Raj Yoga is Sannyas Yoga. Raj Yoga is also Hatha Yoga in some cases. And Raj Yoga is Bhakti Yoga. So all of these things are part of Raj Yoga. Okay? Now yoga is union also. But so yoga is union with these sub-parts. Okay? So when you say Gyan Yoga, so what is Gyan Yoga? So you see, Baba gives us knowledge. And when you stay in union with the knowledge, that is in awareness with the knowledge, then that's also a form of yoga. Because that awareness changes you. So what is the knowledge that Baba has given you? So Baba says, you are a soul. Now you sit with this piece of knowledge that you are a soul, and it starts bringing some change in you. So Gyan Yoga means when you are in the awareness of the knowledge that Baba has given you. And when you are in that awareness, then it is yoga. And that yoga starts bringing transformation inside you. So yoga means communion with something that is very powerful. So Baba is powerful, and what Baba gives us, the Gyan, that is also very powerful. So when you stay in awareness of Baba's Gyan, that makes you very empowered or powerful. Okay, so powerful over your own senses. So Baba says that yoga is called Gyan Yoga. Now just think about this. Whenever you are reflecting on who you are, what your qualities are, what your powers are, who you belong to, what your original home is, and what is your initial state or your original state when you came to this world, that is your deity stage. All of these points of knowledge start raising your vibration. So when you sit in the awareness of these points of knowledge, then it starts raising the way you vibrate, and it starts raising your frequency. And that is Gyan Yoga. Now in the Murli today, Baba says, I have told you the meaning of Om Shanti very often. And the Murli is Gyan Murli. And Baba says, what is Om Shanti? Om Shanti means I am peaceful. My home is peaceful and my Father is the ocean of peace. If you just take these 3 sentences and sit in the awareness of these 3 sentences, it can transform you from within. And Baba says this is Gyan Yoga. And Baba has not only given you the knowledge of the self, the knowledge of Baba, but also the knowledge of drama. And when you keep the knowledge of drama in your heart, that the drama is beneficial and it is rigged in my favor, then it gives you the strength of having faith in drama. And then the scenes of drama are not able to disturb you. So when we say Gyan Yoga, it means when you are in the awareness of the Gyan that Baba has given you. Then Baba has given us the second tool, which is the Buddhi, the tool of Buddhi. And Baba says you can have Buddhi Yoga because the Buddhi is responsible for attention and experience. So when you plug in your Buddhi, when you connect your Buddhi to the old world, then you experience the sorrow of the old world. But if you turn your Buddhi to yourself, to Baba, to your home, and to the new world, then your experience in the mind will be very different. So Baba has taught us the power of turning our Buddhi to our home, to Baba, to our qualities, and to the new world. And when you do this, then Baba says this makes you very empowered. Yes. And then Baba says Yoga, another aspect of yoga is Karam Yoga. Now earlier, yesterday also we were discussing this, that whatever you did, your driving force was, fulfillment of desires. So any karma was driven by by the wish to fulfill desires, or it was driven by some other vice, maybe attachment or lust or greed or ego. So whenever you did something, there was a vice driving that action. And that is why your actions became disempowering actions. Yes, and they started robbing you of your energy, spiritual energy. But now Baba says, whatever you do is to uplift yourself and the world. So you do everything. You keep the house clean, you cook food, you earn, you do everything. But what you keep in view while doing all of that is spiritual benefit, spiritual elevation for yourself and the world. Yes? So even in the center, there is an aspect of finance, is it not? Yes, so everything runs with money. But then whenever we think about money, it's not to feed the ones we love or, to fulfill our desires. But whenever money is thought about, it is in relation with how seva is to be done with money. So you are doing the same things. You are thinking about money, you're thinking about cleanliness, you're thinking about work, you're thinking about food. But then the driving force becomes Baba's seva. So then that becomes Karam Yoga. And when your driving force is seva, then the person whose seva it is, Baba, is always remembered while doing that. Yes? So Baba says, when you are working and doing day-to-day activity, you are automatically in connection with me and filling yourself with spiritual energy, because you are in Karam Yogi Sthiti. And then Baba says there is Sannyas Yoga. So you are leaving some things. Yes, maybe you are not engaging in gossip or criticism, or you are leaving the habit of waking up late, but you're doing all that on Srimad. Yes, so you are leaving some things and you are changing your lifestyle in some ways, and you are leaving some of the old belief systems and thought processes, and you are leaving the old attitudes and the old awareness, and all of that you are doing for Baba. So whenever you are making these changes, who are you in awareness of? You are doing it for Baba. So whenever I wear this white sari, who will I remember? I will remember Baba, because I wore it for Baba. So whenever I eat simple food, who will I remember? I remember Baba. So have you seen that in the world out there, when somebody leaves home and goes away, and then you cook their favorite meal, and then you eat in their remembrance that this fellow liked this sabzi and this chapati, and this is the way he liked it, so I have cooked the meal according to how they like it. And if you do everything according to Baba, that is, your whole lifestyle revolves around what Baba has taught you, then you will always remember Baba. So when you wake up at 3:30, you know you are doing it because Baba told you. So obviously you remember Baba. You remember Baba when you eat, you remember Baba when you dress, you remember Baba when you talk, because you have made changes, you have left your old ways. And that which you have renounced is because of Baba. So Baba's remembrance is a part of that renunciation. So that sannyas is also making you do yoga. So that sannyas also ensures that Baba is in your awareness. Now, we do not, now in the Murli, Baba has told about how white doesn't matter. And it is interesting because you see, Baba says you make certain lifestyle changes, yes, like you start wearing white or you start eating simple food, but you are not a BK because of that. So that is not what defines you. So you do that because you are a BK, not you are a BK because of that. Okay, so what does it mean to be a BK? So who is a BK? The one who meditates, the one who remembers Baba, the one who does pure karma, the one who embraces purity in action, the one who reads the Murli every day, that is a BK. So Baba says, your defining traits are your purity and your yoga and your spiritual study, more than these other things. But then if you do this one set, then the others automatically follow, because simplicity in lifestyle is a byproduct of purity of mind and heart. So Baba says, when you do that, then this happens. So Baba says, all this physical renunciation is a byproduct of what you do here. So Baba says, you are unlimited renunciates or behad ke sannyasi, which is you adopt practices of the mind more than physical practices. Okay, so this is something. And then Baba says, so we talked about Gyan Yog, Buddhi Yog, Karam Yog, Sannyas Yog. There is Bhakti Yog also, because whenever you remember Baba, you don't remember Baba, in a dry state. So you remember Baba with love. And if you don't remember Baba with love, then you are remembering a laser light being a laser light. So that is not yoga. So Baba says, you are remembering the ocean of love with a lot of love. That is yoga. And what is Bhakti Yoga? When people sat with love for God, that was Bhakti Yoga. So Baba says, When you sit in love with me, then you're connected with me, and that is yoga. Now, what does this yoga do? So, these are the ways in which you connect with Baba. You connect with Baba by staying in the awareness of his knowledge. You connect with Baba by turning your attention towards him. You connect with Baba by doing the work he has taught you for world service. You connect with Baba when you make lifestyle changes which Baba has taught you. You do all of this. You connect with Baba whenever you sit in loving remembrance of him. And what does this connection do to you? So this is about Yog. What is Yog? You are connecting with Baba in so many ways. And then what does this connection do to you, or what is the magic of power of this Yog? So what this connection does to you is, it changes three things inside you. It changes your drishti, it changes your vritti, which is your attitude, and it changes your kriti, your action. So when you keep doing this, when you keep doing whatever I discussed until now, then you change from inside. And what is the change that happens inside? There is a change in how you see, there is a change in your attitude, and there is a change in how you behave. And there are three laws. So, drishti se srishti. So, your vision creates the world, seeing into being. So, drishti se srishti, vritti se vayumandal. The attitude creates the atmosphere. And your behavior creates your world. So how you behave will create your destiny or your world. So when you look at these three laws, then when there is inner transformation, there is also external transformation. And when this yog is what you stay in, then the power of this connection. Now this connection, when you use a word connection, it is a very loose word, and sometimes you're not able to point out what it means. But what it means is, when you stay in the awareness of knowledge, when you do work that in the remembrance that this is Baba's seva, and then when you change your lifestyle according to how Baba has told you, and when you unplug your attention from everywhere and take it to your world and your Baba, that is Yog. And when you start doing these things, then there is transformation in how you see, what atmosphere you create, and how you behave. And when there is transformation in these three things, then your sanskar, your karma, and your creation is changing. So your sanskar is changing, your karma is changing, and the world you are creating is also changing. And when you do these, then you become the master of the world you create. Got it? So when you are in Yog Bal, you are creating a world which is based on pure consciousness, and that world is a world of purity and peace and power. And there is a law which says the one who creates is the one who rules. So when you create this kind of a world, you will become a ruler in that kind of a world. Now look at the world you have created now. And are you ruling in that world or not? So you will live in the world you create. That is the law. So when you create this new world, then you will live in that new world, rule in that new world. And that will be a world where there is no partition, because soul consciousness is a consciousness of unity. And when you stay in that consciousness, you create a world which is undivided. So this is what Baba says about yoga power. Now let me give you a practical example of yoga power and ruling with love. So Prakashmani Dadiji was known for her love, and Dadiji was hailed as a very loveful master in the yajna, and she was the chief administrative head of Brahma Kumaris from 1969 to 2007. And then Dadi had this power of love, and everybody did what Dadi expected them to do or hoped for them to do. And Dadi never had to say twice, and she did not use any fear or authority to get this done. It was Dadi's love which made everybody do whatever was required in the yajna. And I will tell you one example. And people who are BKs and who have been in Gyan obviously know Dadi, and then they understand the power of love that Dadi has and they surrender. That is one thing. But there was this conference of one of the wings of Brahma Kumaris, and then there were conference attendees who had come to Mount Abu for the first time. And they did not know Dadi, they did not know the yajna. And then Dadi took a session with them. And Dadi's power of love captured their hearts. And the way Dadi spoke and smiled and Dadi behaved just made them, fall in love with Dadi. And then there was a question asked to those people who were attending for the first time. And the question was, do you like monarchy or democracy? So everybody said, of course, we like democracy. And then the second question which was asked was, would you like monarchy if Dadi was your king? And then everybody said, yes, we would like Dadi to be our king, and we would like to be under the rule of this king. And this was such a unanimous voice. And this was an example of how, when you have the power of love, that power of love makes everyone surrender unanimously. And there is no other power which is not resisted or which people surrender to out of will. But this power of love is something nobody resists, and you surrender out of will. And this power of love is what Baba says you will have when you are in yoga with the ocean of love. And the ocean of love teaches you everything that makes you very, very pure and loveful. And Baba says when you reach that state, then not only souls, but even the 5 elements of nature will surrender to you, and you will rule the new world, which is not possible with physical power at all. So Om Shanti.